Hello, this is Vicki Lareau from Modern Jewelry Makers. Thank you for joining me for this video. About 5 years ago or so, I started accepting my longtime customers' bead collections to sell for them, kind of on a consignment basis. We called them estate sales. And then I kind of stopped accepting entire collections about a year ago or so. I'm still open to doing like subsets, like mostly gemstones kind of thing. Anyway, recently though, I had a wonderful longtime customer gift me her bead collection or donate it to me, which is common enough. It's happened like 4 or 5 times probably. And so I've been sorting through them, and it was actually really great timing because I'm in the middle of making a new online course that shows you how to sell your own bead collection. And so I'm not going to be selling the majority of her things, at least not right now. I'm going to be using her collection as kind of my sample or demo throughout creating that course. Anyway, that's not what this video is. That whole announcement's coming later. But there were definitely a few little gems, literally and figuratively, that I did want to grab out and I thought I'd make available, especially because I just updated like the sales section on our website and added some new markdowns and what have you. And so I thought it would be fun to also add a couple new goodies. And here they are. So I know it looks like kind of like a mishmash, and it is, but it's just a few things. And I know they're not all in frame. I just need to be able to reach them. And as soon as I've showed them to you, I will scoot everything into frame properly. My longtime customers recognize these jars, so we're going to start right there. And I often say with these videos that I'm never really sure if I should put them on YouTube, since a lot of people won't know what I'm talking about. But I try to explain it as I go, as best I can. Anywho, these gorgeous jars are my professional palettes. It's where all the magic began. I made these only between 2012 and 2015. After I started going to India, probably 2003 or 4. And so after, a long time, I had so many miscellaneous gemstones, right, from different projects, and nice gemstones. But you'd have them left over from different strands and classes and projects and things. So I started making beautiful color palettes with these gorgeous big gemstones and freshwater pearls and crystals, and it was so much fun. And so I would do limited runs on a lot of these palettes, and I don't know, I probably ended up having 30 or 40 maybe over the course of those 3 years, maybe more, I'm not sure. But I was very excited to find that she had 7 of them available. So I'm going to go through them, because in the listing on the website I'll have a picture of the top of the jar and then of the side, but that's all. I'm not going to list out every gemstone, that kind of thing. Again, a lot of my customers will be familiar with what they are. They're 100-gram jars, and we'll just go through them quickly. This one is called I Do, and of course it's all white. This was a really hard one to do, and one I didn't have very much of. It's actually harder than it seems to create. Let me turn a light on that, see if that helps. An all white palette, but of course it has these gorgeous big coin pearls. Look at those babies, tons of them. And then big, beautiful high luster pearls. But on top of that, look at that pink opal. So gorgeous pink opal, white coral, white jade, mother of pearl, of course, moonstone, rainbow moonstone, crystal quartz. So pretty, so many shells, and lots of beautiful crystals. Oh, that big chunk of moonstone. She's a beauty. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is called Sunset Seduction, and it's a really warm, tone palette that, like, look at those big Keshi cornflakes. Look at that luster. Ah, look at that. So pretty. So it's like a really deep ambery, kind of reddy brown, peachy, lovely color story. So pretty. She is full of peach moonstone, mookaite, morganite, topaz, rutilated quartz, red aventurine, golden rutile. They say mookaite. Oh, there's mookaite in there. Carnelian, of course. Just tons and tons of beautiful gemstones and pearls and crystals to go with her. This one is Enchanted Twilight. It is a like dark blue and dark purple mix with gray and black. It's kind of the neutral background. It's so pretty. And lovely bits of pink. This is the label I had on all the jars in the store that say it's very full, because it is very full. The beads go all the way to the top, so you do need to be careful opening them. But the other reason I had the label on it is so no one opened them in the store, of course. And most of them have the label intact. A couple don't, that I'll show you. And we'll go through them. This is a beautiful mix. Look at these big black Keshi cornflakes. So pretty. Gorgeous pearls. Oh, just big, gorgeous peacock black pearls. But besides that, sorry, there is rose quartz, labradorite, amethyst, sodalite, of course, moonstone, crystal quartz, blue onyx. Oh, look at the iolite. Big chunks of iolite. They say labradorite. Lots of pretty, gorgeous pieces. Gray moonstone. Beautiful. Fluorite. The purple fluorite. And those gorgeous big pearls. So pretty, pretty. This is Love Potion. This one had been open, right? I can tell because obviously the jars like this. But the jars were still full of the, like, few that were open. I did dump them out. Like, went through them, weighed them, just to make sure, you know, they were still, like, brand new. There was only one that was light on weight that I added to. That I'll show you in a second. That was really fun. Anyway, this one's called Love Potion. I made them for Valentine's. I did 8 new ones for Valentine's 2014, I think. But this is a mix that is pink and burgundy, and then with gray background. So pretty. Look at, again, those big black Keshi cornflakes are so gorgeous. But big rose quartz, tip drill, black tourmaline. So pretty. Gray moonstone. And then rainbow moonstone, of course. Onyx, garnet, red garnet, labradorite, morganite. So many pretty. And of course the red hematite. Big red pearls. So pretty. I love that black tourmaline. Oops. Sorry. Turn the camera on you. This is Dawn of a New Day. She's so pretty. This is it's really similar to the Sunset Seduction color story, except where that one is like warmer, deeper browns. This is lighter, like peachy pink, sherbety kind of colors, like more a sun glow. Well, that was one of the first ones I had. It's called Sun Glow. It's very similar to this, but just beautiful. Again, look at these pearls. So gorgeous. It's a big chunk of aquamarine, right? Aquamarine comes in every color of the rainbow, not just blue, like sapphires. But that's a huge chunk. So pretty. Besides that, of course, there is carnelian, rutilated quartz, golden rutile, red aventurine. What else? Oh, peach moonstone, of course. Citrine. There's citrine in there. Mother of pearl. Carnelian. Did we say that? Sorry. So many gorgeous gemstones and pearls and crystals. I love her. It's a beautiful one. This is Every Day is a Holiday. This was one of the first ones I ever made, and then I kept it as a staple because it was just one of my very favorites. It's such a great mix. It's deep jewel tones mixed, right? So look at these big beautiful pearls. I'm digging those Keshis. But besides that, there is amethyst, pink opal, rose quartz. Oh, look at that pretty Amy. Red garnet, green onyx, fluorite, moss agate, topaz. What else is in here? Cape amethyst. Right, so many gorgeous pieces in here. Crystal quartz, moonstone, Moonstone comes in lots of different colors, and all these beautiful crystals and pearls. I love that palette. This last one is Only in My Dreams. This is the one that was a little lighter than 100 grams, and so it was really fun. Of course, like I said, I dumped it out, went through it, and then I got to add some gemstones and things that I did have that would work with it. It's a fabulous mix. It is a really fun kind of turquoise and purple with a gray and black background. It's so pretty, or as a neutral. It's so pretty. I just think it's really, really fun. There is, of course, this big, lovely Amazonite, azurite, aquamarine, amethyst. What else? Rose quartz. Of course, moonstone, sodalite. Labradorite, Cape amethyst. And hematite. So pretty. And these big purple pearls are huge. They're like 9 millimeters. The luster, so gorgeous. And there's so many of them. It must make up like a quarter strand. They're so gorgeous. Anyway, this was so fun to add to. Anyway, those are available. They were many prices over those few years. The price kept going up because I never charged enough. I think the last time I sold them, they were $39.95, $40, say. So that's the price I'm going to leave them at from a decade ago. Which they're of course worth at least double, if not more. But also the shipping, they're very heavy. So it's going to, cost a lot to ship them for me. So we'll leave them, though, at their last retail price from 2015, 14, something like that. The necklace back here is one of my samples that I saved. This is a palette called Garden Paradise. That was one of my very favorites. And, I know, again, my longtime customers know. I just want to quickly kind of explain. So every time I made a new palette, I also strung one of these necklaces at six strands to show the color palette, better, because it's, you can see it, but it's hard to see everything, that's in the jar. And so, while each time I made a batch, it would be slightly different, this gives you at least an idea of the entire color story. But the other thing it does is give someone an idea of amount or mileage, I like to say, as far as strands go. So this is one jar of this. My beads spread out a lot. So this, and my regular customers, again, know this to be true. This was a great class. This was a class I taught for many years called Advanced Stringing, where everybody got a jar and of course all the findings and everything to go with it. And I taught them how to string a more of a random, without a pattern, say. So more of a random style, and to balance it out, and because there's no pattern to it, of course. And the thing that makes it work is, besides the jar, is that we'd also do a little booster pack of these crystals, right? I would make these little accent crystals to go with the jars if someone wanted to make something like this. The jars do have a few smaller crystals, but this gives you like 300. And this is how they used to come. Now they come in a jar form. I still have them. But she had several of the accent packages. And that helps you get this mileage out of here. Not only to do that, but it also helps everything, hang and drape nicer if this is what you want to make. Every single bead needs a smaller bead in between it. Every bead. Because the beads in these palettes are larger, you can't just string them next to each other like they won't. It'll look terrible, and they won't lay nicely or drape nicely, right? And so every bead has to have a smaller bead in between it, and so it gives this beautiful drape that it all comes together, lovely. And there is a handful of metal spacers here. There's not too many. They don't add much to the length, but you could throw them in there as well. But this was really fun. So I just wanted to kind of show what we did with them. Now, the crystal palettes that she had I kept that one to show, but I dumped them out and sorted them and separated them and put them into my crystal palettes that I still carry. And sorry. And the reason is because, again, they're from over a decade ago, so they're really fun crystal colors that I haven't had in a long time. And so, like, these are the colors I carry all the time. The little rose opal, champagne and cognac, the blue violet, and black diamond. And so when I sorted out all her color palettes and I put them into these ones to kind of zhuzh them up, and so they're really fun right now. They have really just new life into them. And those are the 4 neutrals. And then I've had a couple specialty mixes that I still have. Some are Southwest Sunset, and this is Magical Garden. That these are great mixes that I still have the crystal collections that I can still offer for now, that are really fun. And so those listings will be up, and maybe like in the listings, like for the palettes, like I said, I'm not going to list out every single gemstone on them. I'll just have the pictures and the names, but maybe I'll put, I can suggest like a crystal collection mix that can go with it, even though we can probably figure it out. But for instance, like for this Everyday is a Holiday, I would do this Magical Garden with it. Like, it's a dead-on match. Let me move the light in here. I mean, it's a perfect match. That's fantastic. So I love that palette so much. But right, gorgeous. The Enchanted Twilight, I would do the Blue Violet. Excuse me. Something like the Dawn of a New Day or the Sunset Seduction, I do the Champagne and Cognac, and so on. If you wanted like an accent pack for it, I have one that will probably go with any of them that I can leave as links in the listing. Okay, so that's all the palette news. You're allowed to head out if you want to, but we're going to go through the rest of the beauties here now that we've done that. Okay, let's do the footballs. All right, so that was another fun, short-lived time at the bead store. Right, that we had our little football crystal beads here. And, right, the Seahawks went to the Super Bowl in 2014. I know they've been more than once, but so that year and the year before, whatever, those footballs were, right, all the rage. And so we ended up, we like bought them from, I think, a wholesaler the first time or first couple times, but then we decided to go ahead and get them made ourselves, kind of overseas, so that we could, do a lot of them and offer a lot of them and offer them in bulk for people. And the ones that we had made are larger than any I'd seen elsewhere. This little bracelet sample we made as a design, right? But I think that's using one of the original footballs we had, and you can see the ones that we had made are quite a bit bigger and fatter, which means more crystals and heavier and nicer. So, but really, really beautiful. And this was quite an endeavor to actually find a manufacturer to get them right. You don't think anything of it until you get some shipments that are botched up, right? And because these are all set by hand. There's no way to do it otherwise. And so the stitching has to be perfectly straight. All it takes is someone to have it be a little wonky, and then you're like, oh, I can't sell that. As well as like even the spacing on the top crystals, right? They all have to be spaced, perfectly around the, each end. And so it really is a lot more work, than you think. But anyway, it was really fun to carry those for a while. So there's 8 of those available. I'm going to just ask as a courtesy limit of 2. Even that only makes 4 people available to buy them, but I'd appreciate it. Then she also had a little collection of, we got in these little accent beads in the colors and the peridot and the Montana blue. And then there's a little, 12 charm. But so I'm going to do this little collection as one listing, but that's available as well. And then we also made this little design, like I showed you with this little bracelet, this little wrap bracelet We actually made a couple different kits, but this one was really fun. And it's made in 3 sections: the chain, the accent crystals, and the leather cord. And you could put them together in any order you wanted and do it either as a necklace, or it was really fun as a wrap bracelet. And we sold that as a kit, and she has a few of them. So I went through the kits to make sure everything was there. And there's a couple in silver and a couple in gold available. The instructions will be there. There's no football in them, right? If you already have the football, great, or to buy one. So no football in the kits. But, the interesting thing is to price everything in there now. Looks like original price on it. This $21.50, again, from 2014-13. To price it now, it's more than this. In materials, it's around $20 without the football. This was with it at the time, so with football, it'd be closer to $30. So anyway, my whole point, I'm just going to do the kits for like $10, because they're there and available, and you can get a couple of them easily if you need them. And they'll all have the instructions. I'll make sure to photocopy this original one and put them in there so you can make it. And I added some extra cording choices and things like that, and some extra findings. So speaking of kits, right, when we used to come to class, this stacked crystal cuff was a popular class for at least a decade, right? She's so pretty. And so I was really excited to find this. And when people came to our project classes, I'd have palettes made up in little trays, and you chose a color palette. And then after class, it was very common for people to buy extra kits. And so there's the original cuff, and then there's 2 kits. I went through them. Of course, I even added extras, which we didn't used to do a long time ago. But I have a beautiful champagne and gold, and then this gorgeous teal that I added this half hematite color in there as the accent, because just think it elevates the whole thing. And that one's in silver. Each of these kits were like $35, again, back in the day. I'm going to put all of them together. This is one listing for $35. So you can get the sample and the 2 extra kits if you want. This color palette is fantastic. I don't have these colors anymore. This big amethyst and this like baby chalk pink sage opals. This is a great palette, if I do say so myself. And anyway, there's no written instructions with these. I can print out the ones from this time, but instructions back then were for in class. They were like class notes, like cliff notes, right? Not like the instructions I make now, because you're making the projects at home on your own. But I can print it out. But I probably will just jot down some notes on top of it that are important. It's not hard. You just need to know why I work. But it is intense. It is a lot of steps. But it creates a really beautiful piece. So anyway, it's a great deal if you want some lovely bracelet projects. So speaking of kits, I have been, of course, keeping several kits that I had intended to like make again or whatever one day. However, some of them I've not been able to. So I love this beautiful earring. So I'm going to move a light over. I don't have enough hands. Okay. So she's gorgeous. I've always loved this earring so much. And I can't make that, well, I could, but I have not made the kits because of the materials. The materials are all gold filled. It's especially the little bar with the 3 loops, right? That's gold filled. All the chain is gold filled. The lever backs are gold filled. The jump rings, the head pins. And then it's all freshwater pearls and Swarovski crystals, moonstones, and garnets. Even the lever backs are 14 karat. So it's a very expensive earring material wise. And today it makes it extremely cost prohibitive, right? Those little bar things are closer like $17, $18 a piece, and you need 2 of them. So we're in $40 before we're even talking about the rest of it. And so it's a gorgeous earring. And at the time, I did make up another kit. And so I do have another complete kit. All the chains are already cut in this kit, which is half the battle for sure. It's not complicated, but there's some definitely some tricks with it. So, or techniques you need to know. So there's no written instructions, but I will jot them down for you, especially the really important, segments. But I just always loved it so much. So it's a little heartbreaking that I haven't been able to reproduce it, but that's okay. It's gorgeous. So like the bracelet, this will just be a listing, right? You'll get the original sample and an extra kit, same colors. So you have an earring for yourself and for your sister or whatever. And I'll jot down, like I said, the instructions. But the materials alone on one are over $50, just to make, the one today. So it's close to, $100 for the two. It will be half price. So I do like 40. I hate quoting prices on these videos, but like 45, 48-ish, something like that. But it's a fabulous high quality earring. Did we do the crystals? I don't think so. There's a spattering of Swarovski crystals. I'm going to go ahead and list these beautiful crystal hearts, about 9 millimeters. I'm going to do them in little sets of 4. And then there are a couple little palette mixes here in 8 millimeter bicones. They're little Seahawks mix, let's call it. And this one of pinks, we'll call it like a Valentine's Day mix, perhaps. To be specific, there's fuchsia, light rose, and plum. And this mix has capri blue, light sapphire, peridot, emerald, and fern green. But that's a fun little mix of Swarovski 8 millimeter bicones, and those will also be half off. The football beads will be the same price they were a decade ago, like $8, I think $8.50, something like that. There's no reason for me to discount them. Last thing is this beautiful tray of these gorgeous natural organic pieces. And I think I got these available before. I can't remember. I've hung on to them for a long time. But I just wanted to be able to go through them kind of quickly. Again, I don't have quite enough hands to do this. But I do want to show how... And these will all be... In fact, they're more than 50% off. They're like 60% off, most of them. There are these beautiful pieces of Russian charlite. Cabbage stones. Right, charlite is a stone that's mined out, like chrome diopside and a few others. So it's very special, very rare. It's beautiful purple. These are great sizes. This is a pendant of Lareau, right? Also really pretty pricey stone because it only comes from one place. But that beautiful light blue. These gorgeous Chinese turquoise donuts I'm going to do as a set together. And right, Chinese turquoise is more blue, American turquoise is more green. And these are completely natural, right? If you're familiar with turquoise, it has to be stabilized because it can be a very powdery, fragile stone on its own. However, these are so old that they're I don't know, at least 100 years old. I bought them from a good friend. I bought a whole bucket of them from a friend that used to go to China all the time, right? And the earth was, our soil just different back then than it is today. And so this doesn't need or have those stabilizers. And you can tell they're all cut by hand because of their organic nature. And when I say Chinese turquoise, don't think like made in China. Yeah, I mean, think of from the earth, from, it's so sacred and beautiful. And I think over time, even the oils from people's, hands and things have made them more solid. I just think they're stunningly beautiful. All it needs is like a leather cord, and I just love the organic, beautiful nature of them. Anyway, those will be sold in a set. And speaking of beautiful organic nature, I have 2 sets of these Tibetan white coral beads, also hundreds of years old. They're white coral, genuine white coral. Right, you can't buy pure coral beads anymore because it's endangered. But right, when you think of coral, like branches, you would think of like under the ocean. So it's a very kind of open, porous stone. And so to create these, they would put gemstones in the openings. I'm trying to get color or light on it. In the openings, you can see that there's It's hard. I need 3 hands. There's lapis and coral and turquoise. And so they would set the gemstones, and then they pour in a hot bronze around it to set them, within that. And so that's why they all look so, set really organically, and then are cut and shaped, organically from them. There's not enough like true, real natural material anymore, and I love them. Anyway, I have two pairs of those, that larger one and a little bit smaller one. They're just gorgeous. There are a couple mother of pearl pendants here. These are 14 karat gold bales. Gold filled, I apologize. Bales, but still very valuable. They're worth more than the pendant, but these are cut from a beautiful piece of the mother of pearl. The shine is fantastic. And so these will be sold individually. These are white coral, also completely natural white coral. You can't get it anymore. These even have a slightly pink tinge to them. That sterling bale is insane. It's so gorgeous. These are from Pacific Silverworks, right? They were a vendor at our show for all those years. If you're familiar with the quality of their materials, these are all made in Peru. The silverwork is insanely gorgeous, right? It's a beautiful, beautiful pendant. It's just lovely. Again, I love all the natural organicness, I guess, of the piece. This is another mother of pearl piece, big heavy sterling bale. I love they cut it from a place of the shell that's really interesting and beautiful. It's a lovely piece. This is natural red coral, again 100% natural. You can even see all the porous parts of it. This is also Pacific Silverworks. You can see the beautiful bale, the beautiful silverwork that's done in Peru. Gorgeous, right? Heavy and lovely. Then there's a couple of these little shark's teeth, and I know you're like, ugh, I get it, believe me. But what's so cool is, again, the bale. These were made when sterling was really economical, because this bale is so heavy, and then it's set with that little conch shell, right? Look how gorgeous this is. It's so pretty. So there's a couple of those sold individually, and then I have a couple of the little beads from Barry Kegelstein Cord. He was a kind of Hollywood jewelry designer in the 60s and 70s, and he made these beads to use in his jewelry. It's all sterling, inlaid with natural mother of pearl, natural turquoise. He was from Arizona. Natural American turquoise. It's so beautiful. The maker's mark is on there, stamps, and again, this tray that I've showed you is all going to be on sale. It's over 50% off. These are the last pieces. I had several. If these don't sell, I'm happy to just put it on a chain and wear it as is, because it's so gorgeous. I think they're beautiful beads. Anywho, I think that's it. I think that's the end of it. 33 minutes. Goodness gracious. Well, hopefully you had some things to do and you can keep this on in the background. But thank you for joining me today. And I'll send an email to, of course, our customers that this video will be in, so you can find out all the details and get your hands on this tiny little but very special group of beads. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, sparkle brightly like the star that you are. Mwah! Peace.